Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy, and this is a response, and it's a response to a thread started by Simon at Return to Vinyl, where he wanted us to show 4 albums by 4 of our favorite artists. Now I've seen several people do this, so I tried to pick ones that nobody has shown, and so these are 4 that I love. I don't know if they're necessarily my favorite artists, but they are artists that I do love, and all the albums are going to be in chronological order in their discography. First one I'm going to show is Gregory Alan Isakov. Now he's been called folk, indie, alternative, lo-fi rock. I thought the best description was minimalist yet lush, which I think really, because he has like a strummed guitar or banjo with this great orchestration. And this is maybe my favorite album. This is the first one I'm going to show. It's The Weatherman, and it's got songs like Amsterdam, St. Valentine, Living Proof, Astronaut, Suitcase Full of Sparks, which may be my favorite off here, and She Always Takes It Black. But yeah, Gregory Alan Isakov. Kind of looks like a custom label. And then the second one is Gregory Alan Isakov with the Colorado Symphony. Now, one of my favorite concerts, I think, of all time would be being able to see Gregory Alan Isakov at Red Rocks with the Colorado Symphony. But this is an album where he takes a lot of his previous release songs and plays it with the Colorado Symphony. Big Black Car and The Stable Song are just amazing on here. He also does Amsterdam, which is on The Weatherman, and does a great version of that. But yeah, just a fantastic album. These first 2 albums are the ones I would recommend if you want to get into Gregory Alan Isakov. And I think if you like maybe Iron and Wine or Lamb Chop, you might like him. And this last one was another kind of custom label there. I think he kind of has his own label and releases them on that. And this is Evening Machines. And for this one, Birth, San Luis, and Southern Star are all great songs. And his latest one came out in 2023, Appaloosa Bones. This one hasn't really grabbed me as much as some of his other works, but I'm working on it. But yeah, Gregory Alan Isakov. Those first 2 albums I showed, The Weatherman and the one with the Colorado Symphony, are just great. Next is probably the most famous artist I'm going to show, and that's Procol Harum. This is their debut album. Has their most famous song in Whiter Shade of Pale. Also has a bonus disc, which has Hamburg and some other singles. But yeah, this is just a fantastic record. Of course, you got Gary Brooker, the lead vocalist, and playing piano. You got Matthew Fisher on organ, and Robin Trower on guitar, and Keith Reed writing all their lyrics. Yeah, and this came on this cool color variant. And next was the album Shine On Brightly. This is the US cover, which I think is the best one, actually. I think it's pretty cool. And then, of course, they got the famous title track. And then you got Quite Rightly So and Held 'Twas in I, which is a great closing tune on here. Yeah, Procol Harum. And then a lot of people, this is their favorite, even though I kind of favor the first 2. But a lot of people love A Salty Dog, which I do love this album as well. My cover is not in the greatest condition. Of course, you got A Salty Dog and The Devil Came from Kansas are 2 really good ones on here. And they were on the A&M label. And then Home is the 4th one. And by this time, Matthew Fisher had left, the organist, and this one has Chris Copping on organ. And still on the brown A&M label. My next four are probably one of my favorites, maybe my favorite voice in music. That's the blues crooner, Bobby Blue Bland. His album Two Steps from the Blues is maybe my second favorite album of all time, but yeah, I love this album. The title track, I'm Not Ashamed, Lead Me On, the best version ever of St. James Infirmary, and I've Been Wrong So Long. Yeah, it's a great album. And it was on the MCA label. I think originally on Duke, but this is a reissue. Next came Here's the Man, which has his biggest crossover hit and Turn On Your Love Light. Also has Who Will the Next Fool Be, 36, 22, 36, You're Worth It All, and then the best version of Stormy Monday Blues. And I'm talking about the T-Bone Walker tune, which I think T-Bone Walker call it Stormy Monday Blues, but Tuesday's just as bad. This is not the Earl Hines, Billy Eckstein tune, but yeah. Stormy Monday Blues. And next was Call on Me / That's the Way Love Is, which were the two biggest hits off of here. Also, Care for Me is a great tune, Bobby's Blues, and Share Your Love with Me, just a great ballad. But also listen to Wishing Well, because it's got Clarence Holloman's great guitar work on that song. And then, last but not least, Ain't Nothing You Can Do, which is another great Bobby Bland song. All his 60s albums were worth having, I think. And then in the 70s, he kind of got into trying to stay current with some of the disco stuff, but there are a couple albums on this from the 70s that are really good, including Dreamer. And then in the 80s, he kind of got lost a little bit until like around 85. He went kind of right back to the blues, and those ones from the late 80s to early 90s are really good as well. But yeah, this one's got, like I said, Ain't Nothing You Can Do, Steal Away, and let's see, If You Could Just Read My Mind, another great Bobby Bland ballad, yeah. And that's Bobby Blue Bland. Next is the great Tammy Nielsen. I discovered her through a TV show called Brokenwood Mysteries, which is set in New Zealand, and it's kind of a crime, whodunit mystery series. But they played a lot of Tammy Nielsen on that show, and she even appears on one of the episodes. But yeah, Tammy Nielsen, like I said, based in New Zealand, but born in Canada. And this is her album Dynamite. If you like, trying to think of her name, but she's kind of a little rockabilly, a lot of soul and blues, a little alternative country, a little bit of everything. She's just a fantastic singer. This one has You Lie and Dynamite and Whiskey and Kisses are all great ones to check out. Yeah, the artist I was thinking of is Wanda Jackson. She's kind of more soulful. Wanda Jackson, who's a rockabilly artist. She'll do a few straight country tunes as well, and do some bluesy ones. And this is her album, Don't Be Afraid, with some Holy Moses, Bury My Body, and Heavy Heart. The ones on this one. And then, yeah, it's on this like custom label, I think. And these next two are probably my favorite of hers so far. And this is her album Sassafras. Nice inner there. It's on green vinyl. But yeah, this one has Stay Out of My Business, Smoking Gun, Devil in a Dress. Yeah. She's hot. And then this is probably my favorite album of hers. This is Chickaboom. This is the first album that I bought of hers. Listen to this song, You Were Mine. That's probably the biggest song I would say to check out. You Were Mine, just great vocal on that one. Also got 16 miles of chain and 10-ton truck. Like I said, this is got some bluesy stuff on there as well. And this was on this clear vinyl. And that's all for now. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope everyone's doing well. Like I said, go check out the original for this thread. And I'm trying to watch as many as I could so far. But anyway, everyone take care. Thanks.